All right, y'all. We are back and we are back. If you up in here, y'all, let me know that you're in here. Say hi. Say something to your boy. We're going to be reviewing the latest in the ongoing Sean Diddy Combs, Jay-Z, and Accuser saga. And so what we're going to be looking at today is a court filing from today. This is actually an order from the judge, which many people are interpreting as a win for the plaintiff, who is known here as Jane Doe. All right. So good evening, everybody. I know normally I'm streaming in the morning, but during this holiday season, I'm gonna be a little sporadic. So y'all work with me, okay? I'm gonna be a little bit sporadic during this holiday season. We went and got a kitten for my daughter today. I would love to show you the kitten, but the kitten is under my daughter's bed, and I don't know if she can get the kitten out from under the bed in order to. I'm gonna see if I can call her in here. If she does get the kitten, I'm gonna show y'all. This is my daughter's first pet. She's so excited. She screamed. She's so happy. She's so happy, y'all. So I'll see if I can get her in here. Hold on. All right, I had to call her. All right, y'all. So while I see if I can get my daughter in here, let's get into this filing from the judge in the Jay-Z accused case. Okay, so this is from Jane Doe, who we all saw. We didn't actually get to see her, but we saw the interview that she did. Oh, hold on one second. Did y'all get the kitten? I want to show people on live. I want to show them the kitten. Okay. All right, so grab him and bring him in here so I can show everybody so they can be excited and happy for you. Okay. All right, y'all. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get into reading this and we can talk about this. Happy holidays to everybody. We are doing a late stream today. Y'all, we might get a little sporadic with it, you know. Keep y'all on your toesies. Keep you on your toesies. So I'm going to read through this a little bit. Now, remember, Jane Doe filed this suit against Diddy and Jay-Z. She says she was at a VMA party in the year 2000. She was 13, that she had gotten dropped off there by a person who is now deceased, that person drove her over 5 hours from Rochester, New York to New York City and dropped her off. Her being the 13-year-old girl, just dropped her off. She didn't have a ticket to the show. So she just started talking to random limo drivers, seeing what's up. And one of the limo drivers said, "Oh yeah, you know what? I'm Puffy's limo driver. I can take you to the after party." So after the show, which would have ended probably somewhere around 11 o'clock, after whatever post-show socializing would have happened, we imagine that at least would have been 10 to 15 minutes. Puffy, his driver, I suppose, has to drive people around and get them where they're going before he goes back and picks up this 13-year-old girl who's still there at whatever time of night it would have been, waiting for him to come back. So he was kind enough and thoughtful enough to remember that she was there waiting for him. And he took her to a party, according to her version of events. He took her to a party at a White House with a circular driveway, which was somewhere around 20 minutes away from the Radio City Music Hall venue. At the party, she alleges that she was given something to drink, which caused her to maybe not lose consciousness, but to feel woozy, or let's say partially lose consciousness. I don't know what the exact term would be, but we can kind of think that it would have reduced her level of awareness, let's say. And as she went to find somewhere to lay down in one of the rooms in this mansion, once she found that room, Jay-Z, Diddy, and a celebrity woman who is not named found her in this room. Jay-Z and Diddy took turns doing unspeakable things while the celebrity woman watched. After this, the alleged victim, 13 years old, ran out of the room, ran out of the house, found her way to a local gas station where she was able to call her dad, who then came to pick her up. She says that they drove home in silence. So the dad picked up his 13-year-old daughter in the middle of the night from a gas station, nowhere near home, and drove home in silence. Didn't ask any questions. Didn't scold her. Didn't say, "What the F are you doing out here?" He just played it cool, like everybody wishes their dad would. So she did an interview recounting this series of events. And many people felt that her interview showed certain holes in her story. Particularly, she said that she had spoken to celebrities at the party who were not at the party in the year 2000. She said the party was at a house, and in the year 2000, it does not appear that either Jay-Z or Puffy were at a house party after the VMAs. She also said that, again, her father picked her up, and her father said he does not remember ever picking her up in that fashion. He didn't say he didn't do it. He just said he didn't remember it. He says he thinks he would remember it, but who knows? And then we followed that story up with Tisa Tells, who said, well, you know what? Maybe she was mistaken. She being the alleged victim, maybe she was mistaken. Maybe it wasn't the year 2000 VMAs. Maybe it was the year 2003. That was also held at Radio City Music Hall. After that, it's possible that Jay-Z and Puffy went to an after party at a house as opposed to a club, as they did in the year 2000. In the year 2003, the celebrities that that the alleged victim said she had interacted with at the party, they actually performed, I believe, at the VMAs that year in 2003 when they hadn't even been in the same state in the year 2000. So Tisa Tells said maybe it was year 2003. Maybe she got mixed up. So when I originally heard the interview, I said, case closed. This doesn't line up. Then when I heard Tisa Tells say, hey, maybe it wasn't the year 2000. Maybe it was 2003. I said, ooh, maybe the case is not closed. Maybe there's something here. Maybe there's some more to it. Maybe there's a possibility that this case will go forward. Well, now we have a judge that has ruled on an order, okay, that has issued an order, which is a ruling. And this ruling is going to tell us about the future of the case. So I'm going to take some quick comments real quick from the people. I thank all of y'all. It's a nice Thursday night. Happy holidays to Momac Moi. Jesse Brown, I see you. Rev, good to see you in here. Someone asked me, do I think that he was paid off, the dad? I think there would need to be some evidence of that before I'm willing to suppose it. Is there any history that people have of paying people off? Is there any indication? Is there anything that has happened? Or is this just a plain speculation? Is it possible? Yes. Is it? I don't think that a dad would take money for that. Because frankly, if the dad was paid off, that would mean one of two things. That would either mean he did pick her up and he has reason to believe the story, or it means he really doesn't remember. And so he'll take the money because, hey, I'm an old guy. My memory's gone. I'll take the money. I don't remember it anyway. I don't want to impugn the dad's credibility or character. That's a very, very serious allegation that a dad would throw his daughter under the bus like that. I just not saying that. I'm not saying that he didn't, but I wouldn't want to jump to that conclusion. So let's take a look at this order from the judge. Now, I put in the thumbnail, this is very bad for Jay-Z. Now, why is this bad for Jay-Z? Well, let's read it first, and then we will determine why it's bad for Jay-Z. So this is what the judge is saying, y'all, okay? And just to jump to the end real quick, the judge's name is Analisa Torres. All right, for all my Spanish-speaking people, hopefully you like the roll of that R, that double R, that R, all right? All right, now, Analisa Torres, district judge. I'm trying, y'all. Plaintiff Jane Doe filed this action on October 20th, 2024, alleging violation of this statute. All right. On December 8, 2024, plaintiff amended her complaint to add Sean Carter, known as Jay-Z. Okay. Plaintiff again sought leave to proceed anonymously, but this time Carter's counsel appeared and moved to deny her motion, or in the alternative, dismiss her amended complaint pursuant to this federal rule of civil procedure. Carter also moved for an expedited hearing on the issue. The next day, Carter's attorney filed a letter containing a declaration from an associate at his law firm recounting a phone conversation she had with an unnamed woman who claimed that plaintiff's counsel encouraged her to lie about her experience of SA. So that's kind of convoluted. Jay-Z's lawyer said that he had a letter from some lady who said that Busby, who's representing Jane Doe, was pressuring a whole nother lady to lie. So it really undercuts the credibility of the person, of the attorney accusing Jay-Z. Carter's lawyer asked the court to consider this additional information in connection with plaintiff's motion to proceed anonymously. Plaintiff's counsel denied Carter's allegation against him. So Busby came out and said, I never pressured somebody to lie just to try to get a lawsuit going or try to bolster or sustain a lawsuit, okay? On December 13th, 2024, Carter's attorney filed an additional letter alerting the court to a recently published interview of plaintiff on NBC News. So this is what we watched in a previous video. By now, many of you have seen that. In the interview, plaintiff, speaking anonymously, so we did not see her face, explained her allegations against defendants and her reasons for coming forward now. Carter's lawyer points to the interview. Carter's lawyer points to the interview in which plaintiff admitted to inconsistencies in her story as evidence that plaintiff's claims have, quote, no factual basis whatsoever. He also argues that plaintiff's counsel, this is Busby, violated FRCP, Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 11B, by failing to undertake a reasonable inquiry into the facts before filing the complaint and failing to seek admission pro hoc vising to this court. So basically, this is Alex Spiro saying Busby, who represents the alleged victim, Alex Spiro's like, Busby didn't even look into these allegations. Check out this interview. It's clear Busby didn't even investigate to see if this was a credible thing to file a lawsuit on. Oh, and by the way, Busby is not a New York lawyer, but here he is filing these papers, these complaints, these documents in New York court. He didn't even ask to be admitted for the purposes of this lawsuit. So he shouldn't even be filing in our court. He's from Texas. So those are the two things. He didn't look into this lady and her backstory. And, oh, all right, y'all. I'm going to have to interrupt. Oh my gosh, why'd you let him go?
Dad, he was going to jump out.
Where is he?
He went in your closet.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, I'm trying to show y'all the kitten. And as you can probably see, my daughter just let the cat run loose
because
in my room.
He was going to scratch her.
Shall you call 911? All right, y'all, keep it low. Get the kitten so I can show the people. Let me continue.
Take this off so he can't run out. Dad,
What?
I don't know where he is.
All right, well, keep looking. I'm trying to explain something to these people. Keep it down. This is what it's like having a, yeah, the kitten is, now it's lost. I guess it's my fault. So, y'all, all right, let's continue while my daughters look for the kitten. It's
Can I
lost.
take this off?
I need you to keep it down, please. Thank you. All right, y'all. So, let me see where I was. Okay,
Ah,
we got him. Okay.
Oh.
All right, stay. This is wild. Oh gosh. She has gloves on. This little thing has this little claws, and she has gloves on, and it still got away. All right, well, maybe y'all won't get to see the kitten. I'm sorry. It's a nice little cute little gray kitten. Y'all seen kittens before. You've all seen kittens before. All right, so let's get back to business, y'all. I'm sorry. Anybody who was not entertained by that is a true Grinch, and you need to lighten up. Are y'all bringing them back? Oh no. Okay, so they're gonna take. You don't have to bring them back. Just take them in your room, okay?
I did.
All right. All right, leave him in your room. I wanted to show you the kitten, but he got away. He's scratching her or something. This is his first day here. Well, bring him in his cage. Put him in his cage. And bring him in his cage. Did you put him in his cage?
No.
Go put him in his cage and
It's
then.
gonna be too hard. No.
Okay, we'll just leave him. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's fine.
All right, close my door then.
I'll try.
All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, back to business. All right. So, as I was saying, Spiro, who's Jay-Z's lawyer, said, look, on one hand, they obviously, Busby and the Busby's law firm did not look into this lady's backstory. They didn't verify these claims. And on the other hand, Busby's is not a New York lawyer. He's a Texas lawyer. He didn't even ask for permission to be over here with us. So we need to just get rid of this. So Carter's attorney requested an expedited briefing. Okay. The next day, Carter's counsel submitted yet another filing, a motion for an emergency order directing the preservation of evidence and striking the amended complaint under Rule 12F. Motion to proceed anonymously. In deciding whether a plaintiff, so here the attorney is talking about the alleged victim. Can she remain anonymous? In deciding whether she may remain anonymous, the court balances the plaintiff's interest in anonymity against both the public interest in disclosure and any prejudice to the defendant. The Second Circuit has laid out a non-exhaustive list of factors to be considered. So when she says non-exhaustive, she's saying these 10 things can be considered, but there may be other factors that also may be considered as well. So y'all, we don't really need to read all of, let's just read them through real quick. Let's go. 1, whether the litigation involves matters that are highly sensitive and of a public nature or personal nature, 2, whether identification poses a risk of retaliatory physical or mental harm to the party seeking to proceed anonymously, or even more critically, to innocent non-parties. 3, whether identification presents other harms and the likely severity of those harms, including whether the injury litigated against would be incurred as a result of the disclosure of the plaintiff's identity. 4, whether the plaintiff is particularly vulnerable to possible harms of disclosure, particularly in light of his or her age. 5, whether the suit is challenging the actions of the government or that of private parties. 6, whether the defendant is prejudiced by allowing the plaintiff to press her claims anonymously. Whether the nature of the prejudice, if any, differs at any particular stage of litigation, and whether any prejudice can be mitigated by the district court. 7, whether the plaintiff's identity has thus far been kept confidential. 8, whether the public's interest in the litigation is furthered by requiring the plaintiff to disclose her identity. 9, whether, because of the purely legal nature of the issues presented or otherwise, there is an atypical weak public interest in knowing the litigants' identities and 10, whether there are any alternative mechanisms for protecting the confidentiality of the plaintiff. All right. So the court is not required to list each of the factors or use any particular formulation as long as it is clear that the court balanced the interest at stake in reaching its conclusion. Okay. So she can use these 10, she can use any combination thereof. It says it's a non-exhaustive list, which means there might even be some other considerations not even included out of these 10. You might have number 11, 12, 13, whatever. So she can use it as long as she is properly balancing the relevant interest. She's good as the judge. Here, the weight of the factors tips in favor of allowing plaintiff to remain anonymous, at least for this stage of the litigation. Now, y'all, I'm not going to go back and reread these, but she's saying factors 1, 2, 4, and 7 weigh strongly in favor of anonymity. In her amended complaint, plaintiff alleges defendants drugged and R-worded her when she was only 13. Courts in this district have recognized that allegations concerning SA are, quote, highly sensitive and, quote, of extremely personal nature. Now, I'm going to stop for a little bit of commentary real quick, okay? How fair is it that somebody can anonymously sue you and name you, but name you in the public, but the public doesn't get to know who they are? Unique, you are not blocked. No. How fair is it that a person can remain unknown and launch I feel like the judge should take a look at the evidence, not just the accusation, but show me some evidence that this actually happened before I let you stay anonymous. Let me take a look. Let me take a cursory view of the type of evidence you have to substantiate that this could have really happened. If the judge could look at the evidence and say, I can see how this might be this is like a, not saying it happened, but I can see how there's some evidence to back this up. I'm more in favor of letting somebody stay anonymous when there's real evidence. So far, we as the public, we haven't seen any evidence about this. So maybe there is more, maybe the judge has seen it, but I don't think you should be able to launch a take my word for it accusation. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to stay anonymous, but I'm going to name you. That I don't like that. I don't like the take my word for it part of it. Now, if you say, again, I talked about the kind of evidence that she could have. She could have a ticket stub from the VMAs. I know she didn't go in, but maybe she found one outside and she picked it up and she said, oh, I'm going to keep this as a souvenir. She could have a party favor from the party. Oh, when we were walking in, they were giving everybody these things. I stuffed mine in my pocket. I've kept it all these years. She could have a witness from the gas station who's willing to testify that they helped her out that night. There's a lot of different things she could have to substantiate or corroborate her allegation, at least to put it in the realm of more than just you said something. And so I think we definitely need, in order to let her stay anonymous, I would feel that the judge should see something that makes this more than just a bald verbal allegation and nothing else. Okay. Let's keep looking at the judge's rationale here. Plaintiff is particularly vulnerable to the possible harms of disclosure. According to her amended complaint, she continues to experience depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and a seizure disorder associated with the stress of the SA. Moreover, plaintiff's counsel asserts that many of his other clients who have filed similar lawsuits against Combs claim to have been threatened by Mr. Combs for their decision to speak out. Now that's a good reason to stay anonymous. I do agree with that. Not just the claim, but again, can we substantiate it? And finally, although plaintiff sat for an interview with NBC News concerning her case, NBC allowed her to conduct the interview anonymously. Granted, several factors weigh against allowing plaintiff to proceed anonymously. Plaintiff is challenging the actions of private parties, not the government, and given the media attention surrounding this case, the public has a substantial interest in this litigation, separate and apart from its general interest in an accused, quote, being able to publicly confront an accuser. Alternative mechanisms may exist to protect confidentiality, namely the redaction and sealing of documents. More importantly, plaintiffs' continued anonymity may cause prejudice to defendants, making it more difficult for them to collect the facts necessary to mount a defense and, as appropriate, challenge plaintiffs' credibility. The court does not take such prejudice lightly. Nevertheless, at this exceedingly early stage of this case, the factors counseling against disclosure outweigh those that counsel in favor. See, accordingly, the plaintiff's motion to proceed anonymously is granted. Plaintiff is advised that because the balance of these factors will certainly shift as this case proceeds, especially if and when parties engage in discovery in earnest, the court intends to revisit this decision at a further date. I kind of feel like, man, if you're going to do it anonymously, you have to, if you're going to do this anonymously, if you're going to accuse somebody anonymously, you need to redact for the public purposes. You need to redact their name. And the moment you disclose who they are, you should give up your anonymity. There should be a way for you to file against somebody that is you're anonymous and they're anonymous as it relates to the public. And any kind of publicly discoverable materials will have both names or all names redacted. And until you decide to give up your anonymity, the person you accuse is also anonymous. And if your side, you, your lawyer, or anybody connected to you, if anybody connected to you reveals the name of the person you accused, that should be seen as you waiving your anonymity as well. I'm all for letting you file it anonymously, but you should have to keep that person anonymous as well, whoever you're accusing. Remaining motions. Since Carter's attorney first appeared in this case 17 days ago, he has submitted a litany of letters and motions attempting to impugn the character of plaintiff's lawyer, many of them expounding the purported urgency of this case. Carter's lawyer's relentless filing of combative motions containing inflammatory language and ad hominem attacks. Ad hominem means you are attacking the person as an individual. You're not so much attacking what they did, you're attacking them as a person. So it's almost like saying, you're having an argument over, you're having an argument over whether the border should be closed or semi-closed, and somebody says, what do you know, you ugly. It's like, that's ad hominem. Like, the physical attractiveness of the person has nothing to do with the argument. So ad hominem is when you're just attacking the person in a way that has nothing to do with what's at stake. So the judge is saying that Carter, Jay-Z's lawyer, has attacked Busby's, not just his arguments, but has attacked him as a human. And that really is, as she said, inappropriate, a waste of judicial resources, and a tactic unlikely to benefit his client, who's Jay-Z. The court will not fast track the judicial process merely because counsel demands it. So this is a slap. This is a slap to Jay-Z's attorney. She basically said, you tried to get one over on us. You used inflammatory language and even attacked Mr. Busby basically in a personal way. And it's not cool. You can't move us like that. Moreover, although Carter's attorney assails plaintiff's lawyer as having, quote, a chronic inability to follow the rules, Carter's counsel has failed to abide by this court's clear rules. Whoa, she called him a hypocrite almost. Ooh, that's tough, y'all. She calling him a hypocrite. Or, yeah, this is basically saying you're a hypocrite. You're saying, you said he doesn't follow the rules, but you don't even follow the rules. Under the court's individual practices in civil cases, and with limited exceptions, quote, a pre-motion letter is required prior to the filing of any motion. Although Carter's attorney stated that he, quote, intended to file immediately a motion to strike the First amended complaint, he did not give plaintiff the requisite 5 business days to respond. See individual practices. Wait for the court to set a motion schedule or state whether any exception to the court's individual practices apply. This is unacceptable. Dang, y'all, she going in on cuz. She going in on Spiro. Counsel is hereby advised that any further motions filed in violation of the court's individual practices may be denied on that ground alone. Y'all, this is a major smack, y'all. This is a major smack. I mean, she's not even addressing what Busby did. Lastly, although Carter's attorney is entitled to file a Rule 11 motion without first seeking leave of court, the court discourages this approach. If he still intends to serve plaintiff with a motion for sanctions, the court denies his request to shorten the safe harbor provision contained in Rule 11C2 from 21 days to 1 day. He did ask to move that to 1 day. Carter's motion to strike the amended complaint is denied. By January 10, 2025, plaintiff shall file her response to Carter's motion for an order directing the preservation of evidence. By January 17, 2025, Carter shall file his reply, if any. Wow. Y'all, this is a smack. I mean, in terms of the law, this is a pretty good smackdown, y'all. This is a pretty good smackdown because she basically called him a hypocrite. She said what he's doing is inappropriate. She said you're trying to get one over on us and it's not going to work. So she kind of gave a win to both sides. She no, she didn't. This is a whole win This is a whole win for the accuser. This is actually this is a straight, she ran the table. The accuser ran the table. She got to stay anonymous. The attorney for Jay-Z got basically not so much reprimanded, but we could say his tactics were rebuked, called inappropriate, called a waste of judicial resources, called a tactic that is unlikely to benefit Jay-Z, said we're not going for it, called his tactics unacceptable. Yeah, so basically the accuser ran the table. The accuser, Busby, and the accuser being the woman who said she was assaulted as a 13-year-old, ran the table with this order. And y'all, when I heard Tisa Tells come back and start making this whole thing sound, at first it sounded impossible. Tisa made it sound more plausible. I'm still not there with these allegations. I'm not. But she made it sound more plausible. And I said, oh, hold up. Tisa has a point there. And now we can see from what this judge said, this trial as of now is going forward. Like this just went from, how certain things go from dream to reality. You know what I mean? Like you dream about something and then it's like, oh shoot, I might be able to really do that. This whole case just went from what it seemed like the longest of long shots to like, oh man, there might be something to this. Now, factually speaking, it still doesn't seem like there's enough corroborating evidence to win this, but this whole thing seems like it could gain some steam, and this is gonna be a huge thing. So y'all just want to hop on real quick and talk about this. Let's look at some of y'all's comments. We have some of the usual suspects here. We got Nishi in here. We got Moi. We got Rev, who's here. So let's take a look at some of y'all's comments. Yeah, I saw some people talk about Jay-Z might not have been at the performance yesterday. I don't know about that. I'm not, y'all, I'm kind of over Beyonce. I didn't see the performance. I'm a little bit over Beyonce. She is a tremendous performer. But I will say this. Y'all saw my daughters running around here just a minute ago. I was in the gym. I saw some clips, replays. I wasn't even worried about Beyonce. I saw her daughter dancing, and that touched my heart. I was like, oh, see, now that's cool. Because I have daughters, and I know just the proud feeling that I would feel seeing my babies out there doing all that dancing. That's the part I thought was coolest of the whole thing, that from what I saw. Beyonce, she gonna kill it. She gonna do what she do. She never misses. But, her daughter got to get up there. That was cool. Spiro's been trying to the case in the public. I saw academics say, wow, man, Spiro, man, I don't want no smoke with y'all. Academics say he doesn't back down from a fight, but he's backing down from Spiro. Well, as they say, even Superman can bleed, right? Even Superman can bleed. This was a gut punch. This was a gut punch. Yeah, Dweezy, it could certainly be a settlement. Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all something. There is no possible way I see this going to a courtroom. This case has to go away. It is impossible that I see Jay-Z in a courtroom for this case. I'm not talking about testifying. I'm just saying him sitting down in a courtroom while this whole thing is happening would do so much damage to whatever it is he's trying to do in life at that moment. They need to make this go away. How do they do that now? Now that the judge has pushed back on Spiro's tactics, now that they've already said we won't just pay this lady off, I don't know how they get rid of this. I am saying emphatically, this cannot go to court. This cannot actually wind up in a court room with Jay-Z seated there, with Diddy seated there, with this lady on the stand telling all of the details, with whatever kind of other evidence they would present. That would be a tremendous disaster for him. I'm talking about reputationally, business-wise, time-wise, because he'd have to take time out of his life to be there. He has got to get rid of this. He has got to get rid of this. So I don't know how this is going to happen, but Jay-Z is going to have to get rid of this lawsuit before he has to put a suit on or whatever he would wear and get himself up in the morning, brush his teeth, do whatever he does to his hair, and get ready to go sit in court to listen to this lady talk about this stuff to the world. Basically, he has got to get rid of this thing. So there is no way this thing goes into a courtroom. Unless he, I mean, no, I'm not going to say unless. I would put $10,000 on that. No way. No way. Hair Alchemist, what's going on? Unique, good to see you up in here. My four girls, if settlement happens, the floodgates will open. That's the issue. So my four girls, you're hitting the nail on the head. Jay-Z cannot go to court, but he also can't settle. And he can't push the court around. So he's in a tough position as it relates to this. If he goes to court, he's going to spend time. He's going to spend reputational capital. It doesn't matter if he wins or not. I mean, it does matter, but him having to go in there, it's already a loss. It's already a loss just going into court for this. So if he goes into court for this, he's lost. Now let's say, okay, well, what if he goes to court and they find him not, let's say, culpable or not guilty? It wouldn't really be guilty for a civil trial, but let's just say he didn't do it. They don't find enough evidence that he's done it. What did he win? He won the right to say, I told y'all I didn't do it. I mean, how much time and effort, how much money is he going to spend defending on this? How much of a distraction is this going to be in his life all the way up until that day where a jury says, we find, for the defendant? You know what I'm saying? How many times would he rather have been in Europe, but he's going to have to be in New York? He would have to like start to mold his life when the time comes. He would have to take time out of his whatever he wants to do this. And then at the end, if they rule for him, what does he get to say? Yes. Prove to y'all that I didn't do this to a 13-year-old. I mean, is that what you win? You got to be able to win something that's worth winning. Does that make sense, y'all? I mean, you got to be able to win something that's worth winning. That's not what something you want to put on your resume. You beat a murder charge. I mean, in our culture, yeah, you put that on your resume. You beat almost any kind of charge out there. You can kind of put it on your resume, Yeah, I went up against the U.S. government. I won. Yeah, they tried to take me down, but they couldn't. But what you going to say on your resume? Yeah, I didn't R-word that 13-year-old girl. I don't even want to mention that, much less have it on my resume. Slim Life, hey, what's going on? Good to see you. Got my usual suspects popping in here. Nishi says, for some reason, it seems a bit odd to me. Maybe it's because I don't have enough information. Are we talking about this? So I just don't see how Paulette says a loss for him and a win for us all. I say just as how much of a distraction he was to many lives. Yeah, Paulette, I think you're one of the people, if I'm not mistaken, on whenever we talk about this, that you're on the side that you tend to Jay-Z did not only this, but probably some other stuff. At this point, I haven't seen any corroborating evidence for this claim. So I'm personally just not there yet. I shouldn't say yet as if I'll get there. I'm not there because I haven't seen any corroborating evidence, Bitter Lily believes that there's some lists coming out. That would be quite interesting, y'all. That would be quite interesting. Mo Mac. Is that Mo Mac? Sure, Trump release it while he's on it. Yeah, some people think Trump's on the list, but it'd be easy to just take your name off. Even if you were on it, hey, release it, but don't let my name come out. We'll see. So, y'all, as of now, this case is going forward. As of now, there's still more to be said for this before they get to the point where any kind of trial could happen. But, this is the kind of thing I feel like everybody has had this experience. Has anything bad or unfortunate happened one day? You go to sleep that night, and when you wake up the next day, it takes you a little while, maybe a few seconds, it might even be a minute or two before you remember the bad thing that happened the day before. Like you wake up and it's like, oh, life is so good. I'm alive. Excellent. And he's like, oh yeah, that thing happened yesterday. And it just brings your whole, I think that's how this is going to be for Jay-Z. Like, it's probably gonna be nice and cool and excellent to be Jay-Z. However nice and cool it normally is, I don't know his internal state, but whatever the level of nice, coolness, and excellence it is, you got kids, you have a wife, you're successful, you're pretty much world renowned. But it seems like you'll just have that little nagging thing in the back of your head. But yeah, but damn, I gotta deal with this. I gotta deal with this thing. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I'm saying? Like, man, I thought I was excellent. I thought I was skiing in the Alps, of the Swiss Alps, but then I remembered next week I got to go to court for this stuff. You know what I mean? So appreciate that, Dweezy. Appreciate the love, definitely. So I think y'all, I'm gonna keep following this. I'm not gonna follow every twist and turn of the Diddy stuff because frankly, it's just too much. It is just too much. It is just way too much. But this is particularly interesting because of the legal battle that's happening. Because we felt that Busby had the upper hand. Then we felt that it's almost like watching a fight. Then we felt that Alex Spiro had the upper hand. So first with the allegation, Busby dropped it like, bow. Then Spiro came back with all of his stuff like, bah, 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 bah. And Busby he was like on vacation or something. He didn't even respond right away. We were like, yo, is Busby out? What happened? But now the court came in and just ruled in Busby's favor and ruled against Spiro's tactics. So it's almost like, yo, not only did you lose this round, but also the tactics you tried to win with, don't use those tactics anymore. So it's like, all right, so we just saw round one. Round one goes to Busby. Round one goes to, matter of fact, y'all, if I make a video about this tomorrow, I'm probably gonna put it like that. Round one goes to Busby and to the alleged victim. They just won round one. And not only did they win round one, but they also disqualified certain tactics that Jay-Z side used to try to win round one. They can't try those tactics again to try to win round two. So they lost round one in the decision, and they also had some of their tactics ruled out of bounds, off limits. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they basically, Hair Alchemist, appreciate it. Yeah. Yep. Y'all, I definitely think that I wouldn't be surprised if Busby claps back with another accuser at some point against Jay-Z, y'all. I would not be surprised if Busby comes back like, oh, you thought we was done? And he come with another 1, 2, or 5. No joke. I'll tell y'all what, if I was a Jay-Z accuser, I would be calling Busby. I'd be like, yo, after this that right here, I would be calling Busby. So I wouldn't be surprised, y'all, if we see Busby come back with another accuser on Jay-Z. I'm not saying that there's somebody else out there who I'm just kind of predicting the flow of the story more so than predicting that there's somebody out there to accuse Jay-Z. Does that make sense? I'm just predicting the flow of the story, not so much what Jay-Z may or may not have done. Melly will be released, watch, or not go to trial until 2054. Y'all wanted to cover that. Another YouTuber I don't know if she finished restreaming the Melly trial. I haven't watched that. So I might restream the Melly trial at some point coming up. I'm saying I think Busby gonna come back with some more accusers. I mean, I would put it over 50%. If there's anybody, let me rephrase. If any other accusers step forward, I believe they'll step forward through Busby. That's a better way of saying it. There might not be any more accusers, but if there are, I think they'll come through Busby. I think his biggest clapback would be, oh, you thought I was done? You thought I wasn't about to file another complaint, son? The only thing is Busby has been handling Diddy cases, and this kind of roped Jay-Z in through a Diddy angle. So Busby would really need either another person who's going to rope Jay-Z in through Diddy, or he would need an independent Jay-Z accuser, which I don't know. That doesn't seem as likely. But I can certainly when I think about the storyline, see, y'all, we're kind of looking at a storyline here. I know this is people's lives. I know it's real. I get it. It's not entertainment, but it is a storyline. The way that they're going back and forth with each other, this judge's ruling, her choice of words, this is a storyline at this point. And there's certain things that I feel like the storyline wants to happen. One thing I feel like the storyline wants to happen is that this thing gets wrapped up before it goes to court. I don't feel like there's any possibility that this can actually see court. Another thing is that Busby has another trick up his sleeve. And frankly, that Alex Spiro either has other tricks up his sleeve or is actively developing them. These two guys have been going at it. This is knockdown drag out at this point. Jay-Z he's roped in. He can't get out of it as easily as Spiro had hoped. This thing is going forward for the time being, but I predict it won't ever see a courtroom, so it's got to end at some point. But for the next weeks, the judge has said, a couple of weeks until January. What is it? She gave till January 17th, which puts us at approximately 3 weeks from today. So this is going to be in Jay-Z's hair, presumably for the next few months, because by the time they get 3 weeks from now, they submit whatever they need to submit, then she's going to need time to do her thing. This thing is going forward. Nisha, you aren't missing anything if you've been on this stream. I gave a full recount of what happened. They sued Jay-Z and said he and Diddy did something to her while she was 13. Jay-Z's lawyer came back and said, hey, look at this interview she did. She doesn't even know the facts of what she's talking about. Plus, she wants to stay anonymous. So would you please at least make her reveal her identity? And also, Busby is not allowed to practice in New York. So can we just kick this whole thing out of court for that reason? And the judge is like, not so fast. Spiro, she can stay anonymous. So we're not revealing her identity. And we'll get to that other stuff. We're going to set some dates to continue arguing the back and forth for this. That's all. That's where we are. That's where we are right now. That's the entirety of what's happened so far. So she said Carter's motion to strike the amended complaint is denied. So the original complaint did not name Jay-Z. That's another important thing. So the original complaint did not name Jay-Z. So when they amended the complaint, they added Jay-Z's name to it. So now they're like, well, yo, can we just put a big red X through the amended complaint, which has my client's name on it? And then, only the original complaint would be left. That only has Diddy's name on it. Doesn't have Jay-Z's name on it. And the judge said, nope, we can't put a big red X through the amended complaint. So in other words, Jay-Z's name stays on this thing. That's one. By January 10th, plaintiff shall file her response to Carter's motion for an order directing preservation of evidence. So preservation of evidence. So they're gonna have to they're gonna have to file by January 10th, 2 weeks from now, 2-ish weeks, and by January 17th, Carter shall file his reply, if any. So I mean, this is just legal back and forth. There really is not anything that's really happened so far besides Spiro trying to get this whole thing dead, and the judge saying not only is it not dead, not only will we not reveal the client's, the alleged victim's identity, but stop using those tactics because I don't like them. Does that make sense? Ty, good to see you back on the green side of things. Y'all become green. Everybody's invited to become a member. Jennifer says, this is a written answer to the court. This is the beginning of standard procedure of a new case. Are you referring, what we're looking at is, this is the court that has written this right here. This is from the court. Yeah, but yeah, this is all standard. This is all standard procedure for a new case. I mean, I do agree with that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like this is just getting started. That's why I said this is going to be around for several more months potentially, because you just have legal back and forth that's going to happen for a while. So this particular motion is strictly to keep the person anonymous. Well, it keeps the person anonymous, and it also strikes the it also denies the, so it denies, we have two things that happen here. So the plaintiff's motion to proceed anonymously is granted, and Jay-Z's motion to strike the amended complaint, basically where he's named, is denied. So basically, at the end of the day, the case will continue for now, and with Jay-Z named, but with the victim or alleged victim not named. Really, that's the bottom line. If we could say it a different way, just kind of succinctly, the case will continue for now. Jay-Z's name stays attached, and the victim's identity stays anonymous. That's it. Hey, Valley, what's going on? Just a little late evening stream to talk about this Jay-Z lawsuit. So I'm going to say that one more time, y'all. If we want to sum all this up, the case will continue for now. This doesn't mean it's going to trial for sure. It's just that it is still alive. It's like a little baby. You know, it's like a little baby that still needs a lot of care and a lot of things right for it to grow. The case will continue for now. Jay-Z's name will stay attached, will stay involved. Jay-Z will stay at legal risk, if we could use that term. I don't know, it might be a little early to use the term risk, but he's still in the case, and the victim's identity is still out of the case. So the judge left open, maybe at some point in the future, the victim's identity will come into the case, will come into the public, but not for right now. Thank you, Valley. Sending positive vibes as well. So y'all, this is just standard procedure when you file a motion. Even in a custody case, it's going to look very similar. They give people time frames again. Yeah, but the judge could have ruled differently, Jennifer. The judge could have ruled to release the victim's identity, and the judge could have ruled to strike the amended complaint. So totally agree with you. This is standard, but it's important to know what this standard procedures, what the implication is, because she could have very well said, hey, you gotta, if you want to continue with this case, you have to reveal who you are. Other judges have ruled that. This judge, not for this case, but for other cases. So other judges have ruled in other situations that the alleged victim had to reveal their identity, but this judge didn't. But yes, I agree with you. I think the biggest thing here is the way the judge spoke to and about Spiro's tactics. Do you see what I mean? I think the biggest thing here is the smackdown. It's the way the judge shows a certain level of distaste for Spiro's tactics. She's telling Spiro, and y'all, I believe this is a woman. I mean, Annalisa sounds like a woman. I think I heard another streamer saying the he for the judge, but I'm pretty sure this is a woman. So forgive me if I'm getting that wrong. But at any rate, yeah, y'all. So I just wanted to pop on here and talk about this real quick. I'm trying to do a stream every day. Yesterday, my stream was like 6 minutes. I just said Merry Christmas, you know. So y'all might not have caught me. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, y'all, please hit the thumbs up, y'all. Hit the thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, do subscribe. I do stream every day. Typically, it's about 8:15 to 8:30 a.m. Today, just had a lot of stuff to do with the kitten and all this stuff. So y'all know your boy's going to be on here every day. All right. So hit the thumbs up. Y'all have a good rest of your night. I thank y'all for being here. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody who celebrates. And we will see you back mañana. Good night.